Greetings. In this video, we are going to look into the consequences of forgetting one's Kula Devata. So let me start off with a quote from Sri Kanchi Mahaperiyava himself. So he quotes, "Staying away from worshipping Kula Devata is like keeping a vessel with a hole. Nothing will stay on the vessel with a hole. Likewise, no good thing will dawn on the person who does not worship his Kula Devata." Another narrative. Once a gentleman from Tamil Nadu came for Sri Mahaperiyava's darshan. He said, "I bought a new car. From the time I got it, there has been many accidents. I sought the advice of astrologers and performed a number of rituals, yet nothing has helped." Periyava was silent for a while. Then he asked the gentleman a question. "Is there a village called Kanyakuruchi near your town?" The gentleman was taken aback. Then Periyava continued, "There is a Mahamaya temple there. Very powerful deity. Sent 50 rupees for Abhisheka to be performed to the Ambal there. Have the words, 'In the protection of Kanyakuruchi Amman,' painted on the front side of the car." The gentleman was dumbfounded. Recovering himself, he said, "Kanyakuruchi Amman is the deity worshipped by our family. My father and mother would visit that temple every year. They would have Abhisheka performed for the deity. The children in our family would be tonsured there. However, in course of time, we have forgotten all this. Now, it is my good fortune that Periyava has reminded me." There was no further accidents involving that car. After all, it was Devi who was protecting the vehicle. Hope this little narrative triggered some neuronal impulse there. Now, unfortunately, in Malaysia, at least 95% of the Indian diaspora here do not actually know their Kula Devata. The Kula Devata is a deity who has high affinity to your bloodline. The deity's grace or energy runs in the genetic line for generations. One has to follow the Kula Devata of his or her paternal side, the father's lineage, because only the males inherit the Y chromosome. This genetic information is passed through the males of every generation. The Y chromosome, therefore, acts like a storage device of one's paternal ancestry. The Kula Devata runs within a genetic line, as explained earlier. Relating it to the Y chromosome, one's Kula Devata is determined by the deity worshipped in the paternal side. So your Kula Devata would be the one worshipped by your father. Thus, your Kula Devata is sitting there latently within you, conferring help and grace that may not be very obvious at times. Unfortunately, most Indians in Malaysia are unaware of their Kula Devata's actual identity. Something known as the adoption phenomenon has caused a great mess in this nation. To put it simple, people in Malaysia are confusing their Ishta Devata with their Kula Devata. There was a time when people simply concluded their Ishta Devata to be their Kula Devata. For example, people would generally say, "My Kula Devata is Ganesha or Narayana." Some decades back, however, awareness on how a Kula Devata should be a physically intense deity started surfacing. So people dropped Ganesha or Muruga and started calling Muniyandi or Madurai Veeran as their Kula Devata. Now, this does not mean that Muruga cannot be one's Kula Devata. As said earlier, the form of the deity must be in a physically intense form. So you cannot just quote a vague Muruga or Ganesha. it has to specify a specific form of deists, a specific temple in India. Now, the reason to the adoption phenomenon. Simply because their grandparents were ardent devotees of a Muni or Veeran. Back then, it was natural to construct a shrine for Muniyandi, Veeran or Mariamman in an estate. So their favorite Muni and Veeran started becoming their Kula Devata. This is why, should you enquire 10 people out there, 8 will vaguely point out Muni or Veeran as their Kula Devata. For example, try asking someone, question, do you know your Kula Devata? You can see 8 out of 10 with sheer confidence telling you yes, Veeran or Muniyandi or Mariamman as an example. Now imagine 8 non-consanguineous family sharing the same Kula Devata as they claim. That does not make sense. That defeats the very purpose of a Kula Devata. A Kula Devata is supposed to be unique to your Gotra or genetic line, and your Kula Devata would have a unique identity and name. Vague names like just Munishwaran or Veeran do not qualify. They should at least have a prefix or suffix to it. For example, at least Nondi Veeran instead of a crude just Veeran. If you had been told to worship Munishwaran or Veeran as your Kula Devata, please be doubtful and have a thorough check. When the diaspora crossed seas to Malaysia or Malaya, most of the elders chose not to pass down their ancestral history in India. Frankly, how many of you are aware of your ancestral village in India? Losing in touch with your ancestral village is equivalent to losing touch with your Kula Devata. And losing touch with your Kula Devata is equivalent to losing touch with your Kula itself. Now, what happens when you lose touch with your Kula Devata? Your Kula Devata is like your first line of defense. That deity has been in oneness with all your forefathers. It is equivalent to their breath. As expressive as it sounds, the tragedy in forgetting them is indeed very, very heavy. First, you start acquiring a lot of doshas and karma, those related to Pitru, meaning ancestry. Do not mistaken dosha or karma for sin. Just think of it as a pothole. Now, an analogy, it is like blocking your nostrils and externally breathing through your mouth. You still live, but the adverse effects are there. Your oral cavity can dry out, and there are no filters to filter off microbes or pathogens or germs entering your nostrils or your airway. And why are your nostrils blocked? The reason is that you saw your grandparents and forefathers breathing through it, and it appeared obsolete. Eventually, you saw blondes and westerners going for nose job, and it seemed cool. So you took a scissors and started exploring your nose to make it look pretty, ultimately disfiguring it and rendering it useless. So now you breathe through your mouth. This is just an analogy on how dosha and karma works. It is not sin. It is our own making. It is like a pothole. Now, commonly the dosha takes form in the materialistic realm. For example, difficulty to retain wealth, health disorders, frequent motor vehicle accidents, subfertility, unappeased deceased family members, to quote a few. Now just look, how many of your Chinese friends suffer from wealth issues or other forms of societal burden? Now look at their mode of worship. They emphasize so much on ancestral worship. Now hope that rang a bell. Now in Malaysia, this forms a major factor for burden, and if you look at it from a mystical view, the reasons are very obvious. There are any number of families who have started witnessing miraculous changes upon worshipping their forgotten Kula Devata. The story pinned at the beginning of this video is a good example. If only the current Malaysian population takes effort to find out their Kula Devata and start doing the necessary veneration, we as a community would be beyond a lot of backpulls. You may struggle as much as you can, but without honoring your Kula Devata, it would be synonymous to swimming against the current. The Indian culture is well known to recognize parental blessings as eminent. Now, where would we place a deity who has been in oneness with all your forefathers for thousands of generations? If you claim negligence of parents is sin, what would you call negligence of your Kula Devata, who has been protecting and conferring help to your generation for ages? Make the comparison and the belt whip is equally heavy. Start finding out your Kula Devata and start worshipping them. It is never hard to track a deity who is sitting right there in your DNA, figuratively. Start doubting if your parents pointed a Muni or Viran as your Kula Devata, or has been worshipping a deity with a vague name as a Kula Devata. For example, just Ganesha, just Shiva, just Viran, just Mariamman, without giving them a specific form, a specific location, a specific temple situated in India. And for heaven's sake, stop choosing your Kula Devata based on your birth signs. If it was astrological, we wouldn't be calling them Kula Devata. This image was circulated quite virally last year, and I got to tell you that this is utter bullshit. Because idiots create such images and misguide people, we are causing a huge mess in relation to Kula Devata in this country.